So you told me about how people who are not necessarily related by blood have had a major impact on your life. Could you tell me more about that?
So, what I meant by having people in my life who have not necessarily been blood related
Mhm.
be a huge part of it um, is because I think, major part of your childhood, you don't really know what's going on and you just grow up. Sometimes it does happen, I feel. And for me, it's very true because I don't remember most of mine.
Okay.
So I think I really came into my own, not even in school when mostly people do. I think I really came into my own in college. Like what I like, what I dislike, what do I think about things, and what am I interested in. I was always bookworm, and I would be lost in the world of books. And when I was in school, I wouldn't think much about the outer world. It did give me a lot of perspective, but when it came to my own thinking and my own dislikes and likes, I did not know much myself about me. So I think in college, a lot of people, not necessarily the closest of friends, but even acquaintances and the way I behaved around them and what I learned from them, I think that has shaped me a lot. That has shaped me. But impact has been when someone who's not even who you don't consider a very good friend in the beginning, and they turn out to do something so magnanimous or something so huge for you that you did not expect, that you really learn how to first trust someone, and second have that comfort of sharing things, and being able to talk to about your inner feelings. That left a huge impact.
We talked about how college brought about, if not a sea change, a considerable change in your life.
Yeah.
Let's say your inner circle, what it was prior to college, considerably changed. Could you talk about that more and how it changed you as a person?
Yeah. So in college, I think the first most important thing that I realized was I was constantly not interested in what I was doing, which sucks, and I think it's most of the students all across the world. But I was so disinterested and so detached that I really started rebelling. And I've always been a good kid in school, like straight A's person, like and that was really new to me. I did not know what the hell I was doing. But when you distract yourself from that, you indulge yourself in other things, right? So I think I started I think the first thing I found out about myself that was very new to me was how much I like just being on the run, roaming around, just being outside. And I'm so not a homebody, like, and I did not have that opportunity much at home. But in college, I was like, if I'm left as a free bird and there were no hostel times, for you to return back to the hostel, I would just probably be out all night wandering on the streets talking to my best friend. Like, I was just, for the first time in my life, I realized how free I wanted to be, and how I valued my freedom and all that. Then all these college heartbreaks and heartaches and all these new crushes and all that started. And even though we've seen it as I think, for the first time I realized that, how much I value my freedom in college. And, it's the time when you have all these new romances and heartbreaks happening. So we all see it as a very teenage problem thing that we undergo, but it does teach us a lot in life. And, it really taught me who's going to be there for you. And also the kind of people and kind of person that I want to be was kind of defined by, when you talk to 10 people, you like what two people said, you probably don't like what the other two said, and things like that. So I started kind of gathering what my vibe is, and what is the kind of person I aspire to be in life in general, and I think Shrishti, one of my closest friends, she really taught me how to, value yourself for whatever you are. Just be yourself. I think that's the biggest learning I've taken from that friendship of mine with her. I sort of pick up from people I like, and I sort of learn from them. So I think the biggest impact would be in terms of learning in college of whatever friends I had, and learning how to support each other through difficult times or in happy times.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
So you also told me that you grew up in an unconventional family household. Could you
Right.
tell me more about that and how that was different from, let's say, the conventional ways, like a normal uh, nuclear or joint family?
Right. So when I say unconventional, why I say it is because when I was a child, I think I was around in standard two. So that's when my father and my mother, they separated. So I live with my mother and my grandparents, my maternal grandparents. So in that way, it's a slightly unconventional family. But I'm also very blessed because I grew up in a very protected environment, despite everything negative that was there to surround the situation. Uh, and this is where I feel like today, whatever the person I am, the latent things you experience in your childhood that leave an impact on your mind without you even knowing sometimes, I think it was the love that my grandparents, my maternal aunt, my mother, everyone who offered me all these things kind of made me a very positive person. I think all my friends would agree that I'm a very optimistic person, and that is because of them, because I felt like I could conquer the world, with when they are around me, when they would talk to me, there was nothing that is off limits, and that has made me into a very positive person.
Who would you call the most important person in your life? Or has it changed as you went through school, through college, and after college?
Mm, no, it's this is an easy one to say that it's my mother, because despite every other relation you have in your life, the relation you have with your mother is so special. And especially in my case, because she's struggled through everything alone and brought me and younger brother up so beautifully. So it is her. But I also value the relationship I had with my grandfather a lot, because he was more of a father to me than my own father was. And had it not been for him, I don't know where any of us would have been today. So I think both of them are very important to me, and I can't really put one above the other.
Sure. So when we grow up, there are a lot of values that we just pick up, maybe from friends, from family, from acquaintances. Is there any value that you picked up from someone, be it your family or your close friends, that you hold the dearest to yourself? Like, so it's is an integral part of you.
I think from my Masi. She's a very honest person, very blunt, very straightforward. You can like it or not, but she will speak her heart out. And I think that's one quality even I have. Uh, I think honesty with some amount of integrity also, not just to, say it. Uh, I think that's one thing I value a lot. Not saying that, I wouldn't tell 2 or 3 honest lies out here and there, but for things that matter and for things that can potentially cause uh, pain or something to anybody in life, I would never do that. And that's something I can proudly say, and I can say for sure that I do think about it.
Okay, so tell me something that no one, friends or family, can change your mind about.
Mm, I'm not a rigid person, but I think if somebody tries to tell me what to do with my life and career, I don't think I would listen. I wouldn't say that I'm a very rigid person. And I'm not saying that advice is not welcome and it's necessity, but if somebody asks me to live my life a certain way, or make career choices according to them, be it a boy or my family or my friends, I wouldn't listen to it, because I think that is something that's extremely personal to anybody, because you have put in all the hard work required, everything that you do, uh, to make something out of yourself in life. I think every career choice, whether it's to continue working, to stop working one fine day, or to change your career path, I think everything, all those decisions lie with me, and no one can like really say that you should do things a certain way and expect me to do it.
Let's talk about the relationship to your closest friends or family. I find
Mm-hmm.
it, I have a different take on that because I also feel that the people who you're closest to, you are also the most vulnerable to. I mean, in some sense, they have the power to hurt you the most. Have you ever felt that way?
Um, I would be robotic to say no completely because, of course, I mean, if you, like I said, trust is an important part of letting someone in your inner circle. So I think you also give them the power to break the trust when the time comes, right? So they do have the power to hurt you because if a random person did something to me, I wouldn't probably care so much. But if my close friend or my boyfriend does that to me, I would, be heartbroken. So they do have the power, but I also feel that, God forbid, but if something happens, it is also in your hands to heal from the hurt. And I feel like there are certain things that a person who really loves you above would not do to you ever. And if they do to you, just need to cut loose and tell yourself, that you probably should not have given the person that power to hurt you in the first place and move on from it. I don't believe in dwelling in any on that hurt.
Have you had any issue or insecurity that you think your inner circle also has not understood till now?
Mm, I think it's my eternal fight with love, which I probably myself don't understand. So I wouldn't expect anybody in my inner circle to understand either. But I don't know exactly what I feel about it, and I don't say it in a manner to avoid any questions or anything. Uh, most of the things that even if someone asks about it and we don't know how to put it in words, we at least know what we are feeling. But um, time and again, I have felt, um, that I'm a very curious person. I want to know the how and what of everything. So when it comes to love, I have experienced it in life, um, and but I feel like I'm not entirely sure on my feelings when it comes to love, which is a very weird thing. And I hope I find the answer someday.
I think most of our generation shares that thought with you. So definitely keep searching and do tell us know if you find an answer.
Yes, hopefully.
There must be like a finite number of people in your inner circle. I don't know, five, seven, eight, whatever. Do you have
Mm-hmm.
like a borderline number? Like this is the threshold after which you do not want any more people in your inner circle.
No, I don't. I'm a person who doesn't think at all with their head sometimes, at least when it comes to friendships and, family and loved ones. I think I'm all heart. And I think that there shouldn't be a number. I mean, I do have very like few people who are close to me and I could count them on my number. Like I could count the number on my fingers. But I feel that, I think relationships are very organic, whether it's a friendship, a love interest, or your family. There are relatives who are related to me by blood, but I don't even speak to them, not because of any other reason, but because we just don't understand each other well and we don't vibe. And there are people who I got to know over small, like a long period of time. Slowly aspects of their personality were revealed to me, and I really like that. And I made sure that we stay friends, and they became my close friends. And there was a lot of reciprocation, obviously. So that becomes a good solid friendship. But sometimes you just meet people who are complete strangers to you, and you just hit it off so well with them that it's funny how organic it is. So I think I cannot possibly put a number or restrict myself to only like certain amount of people, because first of all, I see the good in everyone. I like everyone. I barely ever do not like anyone. And sometimes, I instantly dislike people also. That's not true actually. So,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, you meet so many people in your life that I feel like putting a number on it would like be a gross injustice. So I don't think that.
It's a great outlook to have.
I
Okay,
think you're complimenting me a lot. Do you disagree with something I said?
not really. Not till now, at least.
Okay.
Here's one interesting question. Would you prefer a female friend or a male friend?
Okay. I'm just looking at my friend list. I've just had more male friends than female friends. Not that I have not had some great female friendships. There's Shrishti, there's Shaurya, but that's the thing. Like, there are there's some type of, females that I really love. There is no particular type as such, but it's all about the vibe. I think be it a girl or a boy, if the vibe is right, I would obviously instantly love them. But yeah, I mean, to pick one, I think male friends, because it's just, and I think it's true for people in general that opposite genders, it's really easy to talk to. Not everyone, of course, but I think especially extroverts like me, it's never been an issue. And I think I do, you have like different outlooks on things, and there's a lot to talk about. So I think male friends, yeah.
It's easy to talk to, but don't you also think it's quite as easy to mess up? Like, if a connection
Yeah,
goes beyond for one person and it doesn't for the other, then it's a different issue altogether.
Yeah, but I think, see, this is the thing. Like, I like to keep my friendships separate from that mess. I know it's sometimes not possible and they cross lines, and I've, been there, it has happened. But I mean, having a good friendship is worth the trouble, I feel.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's a great way. I mean, I learned about you summarizing a lot of traits that you gained through college, through school, and even right now that have made you the person you are. So you were talking about how friends and family, like not necessarily blood relatives, they all have had an impact on you, and how they've shaped you to be the person you are. Have you had any personal life-changing moments apart from the ones with the inner circle, obviously, that have shaped you without any doubt?
Yes, I do have a story.
Okay.
This is something that I didn't know for a long time. So what happened is, when I was, I think, in second year of college, I had come back home for the summer holidays, and everybody was home, and like my grandparents, my mom, my masi, everyone was home. There was some thing going on. We have to pay the fees, the academic fee for the next year in that period, right?
Yeah.
So that fee discussion was going on, and every time when the fee thing came, like for the past year or whatever, I used to just tell him, like my grandfather, so my grandfather used to help me out with the payment, and I asked him, if kaun se wale bank se karna hai. I never really thought, it's such a stupid thing that now that I say, I think about it, it sounds very stupid, but I never really sat and thought where this money is coming from, like whose salary is going into my padhai. I had no clue.
Okay.
So that's when, it just came to my mind, what is he doing? So I asked him that, this is the amount, and which bank account ka this thing details do I have to enter or something like that. And he was like, wait, let me think about it. I'll have to see, move some FD ka something, like break some FD and put the money in that account. So I went to my mom and I asked her, how are you all managing my fee? What fixed deposit is Dadu talking about? Okay. And that's when I found out how my fee is being paid. So till my school days, the fee was not much. Your mom's salary used to go into it, and there wasn't much to worry about or anything. But my college fee, which was in lakhs, my दादाजी was paying it, and there were FDs that he had made from जो हमें एक वो fund मिलता है ना PF,
Oh, okay.
तो उसका पैसा जो कटते जाता है every year that you work,
Okay.
and you get that whole amount at the end of your career when you retire. All of that amount, like I can say 80% of that amount has gone to my education without thinking. That man has spent all of his life savings at FD. I mean, I'm not talking about the investments he made or anything with that money, but whatever was in the bank, there were small FDs made out of it, and all of it went in my education, most of it. And I started crying when I heard that. I couldn't believe that a man who has worked for almost 50 years, whatever he could save, in a way, PF is saving, right?
Yeah,
All of
that-
that, just without thinking, he just spent on my education. I could not believe that, someone could do something like that for anybody. And he did not need to, he did not, he could have asked me to do 1,000 other things, go to a government college, do anything. But, if there was any lack of money, or if there was any, if there was any problem or any issue, he could have told me to do X amount of things. But not once did I have an idea that, it would probably be an issue affording this kind of an education. And I think it sent me into a spiral of, like, thoughts that I think what values, whatever maturity, emotional maturity I have, or the compassion I have for people, I think all of it I have learned from my grandfather in many, many ways.
That's an extremely heartening story.
Thank you.